All right, thanks for tuning in to my channel. Garden update, mostly about peppers, 2023, August. All right, coming off the porch, got the regular old goji berries that are propagated off of my plant, some flowers, stuff like that, Asiatic lilies, hostas, and platycodons. Basil going to seed. Got these jigsaw peppers, I'm pretty sure they are. Not a huge plant, but it's got a few on there. That's been growing since last year. Chamomile finally put on flowers. Lemon balm, monsteras, this avocado tree that's still going. It's pretty cool, putting on new growth. Keep it topped out so it, I don't want it getting too tall. That's a heavy pot, man. And then this is the kids' black cherry tomato. This thing is 6 foot tall at least. It's loaded with tomatoes. They're in there. Some of them just now starting to turn color, if you can see that one in the back. These things take a while, but it's quite big. But the fruits on here, man, these are the best damn tomatoes. Heritage raspberry. They're starting to put on their flowers and fruit. Bees working hard. Yeah, something happened to the tip up here on this one, I don't know. I'll just pull that off there and carry on. But that's loaded. We got probably half a gallon of fruit off of it last year. I'd imagine we'll probably get 3/4 of a gallon this year. And then we got more of those raspberry plants. And this is a purple flowering raspberry that's native around here. I think it is native anyways. I thought it was wine berries, but then I was like, wait a minute, the leaves are totally different. But this does put on berries. They're not that good, but they're different, so I got them. Black jewel berries, heritage raspberry over there in that corner right there. It's spread out that far on its own. It's pretty invasive plant. It just started with this one base here 3 years ago, and it's spread out all the way to there. So this is probably 7 foot worth of span. These are the Italian tree tomatoes that I just whimsically threw on this side of the fence again this year, just like I did last year up there. This is loaded with tomatoes. I'm waiting on them to turn color, and got this bird netting over top of it. Hopefully it keeps some of the moths out so they can't lay their hornworm eggs and stuff like that, but it keeps the deer out too. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on fencing. You just want to make it inconvenient for them, Asian pear, the Shinkos, starting to get some mass to them now. Starting to get some size, and they're coming in well. There's probably about 8 fruits on this year 2. Well, it's probably more like a year 3 or maybe a year 4, because I bought it from the store and it was already at least a year old. This is my bait tomato plant. I'm going to take this out hunting with me. I'll let y'all know how that goes. But, you can't keep deer away from tomatoes, right? So I figured, if I have a tomato plant that I could just grow in a bucket and then take it out to the woods and use it as a bait station, I might get a deer that way. This is my black Tartarian cherry tree. I tried air layering it, but the top of it died and it didn't work out so well. Maybe I nicked it too hard, cut it to something, I don't know, but it started to wilt, and I was like, I don't want to damage the tree, so I just lopped it off, and I was planning on doing that anyways. And we're gonna let that grow out satellite shaped, kind of just like a peach tree would grow. All right, we'll get to that peach tree. This is a year 2 peach grown from seed. I'm pretty sure it's a peach seed that I got off of my OG tree over here, the Bella Georgia, which is a grafted tree. So this isn't going to grow true to type. It's going to grow its own kind of peach. And then I'll have my very own variety of peach here. Grapes coming in. I don't care for them. I was hoping they were green grapes, but I bought it for $1. I bought this plant for $1 4 years ago. And I've fought back most of the disease. I pruned it back heavy. That plant was all the way out to here on the fence, and so I cut it back just down to this. And the disease is not really spread. I fought it back pretty well. Here's a little bit of it. I think it's mosaic, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep it to play around with. It's a good root stock at the very least. If I learn how to graft onto grape later on, then I could just use it as root stock. Peach tree, the Bella Georgia, the star of the yard, man. Love it. This thing is getting on so many fruits. The malathion and Captan has been working. I've been using it I've been using the Captan since the petals formed, the buds formed, and then after the flowers opened up and the bees done all their pollinating and all the bees fell off, then I started using the malathion insecticide, and there's hardly any freckles. I've only picked off maybe 10 peaches out of this 100 plus that's on here now that had wormholes in it. There's been a little bit of plum curculio damage here and there, but that's just superficial, cosmetic. That's not, going to rot the fruit from the inside out like if, a peach borer got into it or something. Still get freckles, but not nearly as bad this year as we did the year before last. Whenever we did get peaches, all of them basically looked like that. Oh man, I got this damn branch in here, right here. Just sits perfectly right into my rib cage. So I will walk into the tree. I keep getting jabbed. It sucks. I don't know why I haven't cut it out yet, but that peach there's got some worm damage in it. But other than that, man, these are picturesque. Nice and plump too. They're starting to turn color. They should be done in about 2 weeks. I just did my last spray on them today, so I won't have to spray any more chemicals on it after today because they should be ripe and coming off the tree. Figs, Chicago Hardy. No. Texas Everbearing is what we got right here, and this is putting on figs. Finally started forming the middle of July. In the last videos you could see for the video for July, it was half this size. And since then, lots of things have grown up quite a bit. July was looking a little abysmal to me. Everything was stalled, even though I started a lot of my seeds in January and February. But this is Green Bean Alley. We got Kentucky Wonder pole beans here, which are putting on loads of flowers, which means loads of beans. And you got to make sure you keep up on them, because if you have a bean that's hiding in the grass and it goes all the way to seed, that right there tells the plant that it did its job and the plant won't be as productive. And then we got our tender greens here. I've probably pulled off 3 dinners. Well, the old lady's pulled off 3 dinners worth of beans off of just this, 10-foot, 15-foot row. These right here were seeds that I had from a previous year. They're not doing so good. I won't seed save off of them. I'm just going to let them grow. I'll probably end up pulling them out, honestly, because really the beans they're putting on are small and, not impressive. Not worth really picking, but, I'm not going to grow anything else there. So might as well just leave them and get what I can off of them. All right, now to the peppers, which is basically everything we got in here. It's close to 50 plus pepper plants in here, roughly of 19 different varieties. Scotch bonnets, deer come in here, nibble on it a little bit, but then they back off because they're hot peppers. I wish I could witness it when a deer eats a hot pepper. This is the Euphoria pepper here. This is just an extra one that wound up in this space. More Scotch bonnets. This is a Golden Reaper, finally putting on its first fruit here. And then we got Sugar Rush Peach Stripies, which are starting to put on their stripes. We found a good one. I found a nice one earlier today. It was really, like, you could tell it was going to get stripy, like real nice and stripy. Here, where's it at? I can't find it right offhand, but yeah, these are Sugar Rush Peach Stripies. And then we got the Fatales, which are coming in, and these suckers are every bit as hot as a habanero, but I'm slowly getting used to them. They are beauties. 7-Pop bubblegum. I believe this one grew in this Gatorade bottle for over a year. Put it in the dirt, and then it blew up. Now it's loaded with fruit. For the size of the plant it is, it's doing really, really well. And they're just now starting to turn color. I'm not sure if this is Fatale or something else. Not entirely sure, but there's more Fatales here. Not very large plants, but they are productive. Orange cherries, I've been pulling off a few. This one stopped flowering for some reason, I think because it's crowded out by the carrots and the weeds. And so, yeah, that's that, which is okay. These were carrots I got in Denver, some kind or another. It's primarily what I grow. They're doing okay. I haven't put a lot of effort into the carrots. Black Jewel raspberry. Cool thing about this, had one lateral stalk, but if you cut it back and it branches out more, next year these floricanes will all produce fruit. So that's a good way of making one cane, you know, produce a lot more. You know, you just kind of work with it while it's growing its first year, and then the following year you'll reap the benefits of it. Sunflower, opening up. Boop. What up, sunflower? Those usually get pretty big. Kale, the kale that was here last year, that froze, died, and came back, went to seed, and now it is just this nice, massive, healthy plant. Now, I don't really eat this stuff, but it's just such a badass plant, and it looks cool. And if I had to find something to eat, well, aside from all the clovers and plantains and wild weeds, I got some kale here too. I can make a killer salad. Golden reapers over here. These were getting attacked by slugs hardcore, man. Hardcore slug infestation. I had to spray it with insecticide. Pains me to do it. These are the only two plants I've ever had to put insecticide on, aside from, you know, my peaches and fruiting trees. Cucumbers that I got started here. This is the only remaining tomato left because I just let them run rampant, and sure enough, got hornworms and slugs. It was mostly slugs. So bad this year. Still going to seed. Royal Golden Watermelon, one single vine of that. I don't expect that to do too much. I was just goofing off with the seeds that I had in the space that I got left after all my peppers, because primarily I grow peppers. Chiroraxa isn't as large as my other Chiroraxa plant, even though it's over a foot tall, is loaded with fruit. It's probably got at least, I would say close to 30 peppers on here, if not more. And it's surrounded by this henbit. Now underneath this henbit is weed barrier. Yeah, I got weed barrier cloth down there. Just so embedded in there with roots that it just rips up, but yeah, the plant does fine. So there's that. Orange cayennes. Now we got all this Canadian haze. I don't know if we can find the sun over that house there. It's so hazy out that you can look directly at the sun, you know, and it's been like that for a few weeks now. The peppers aren't coming in so consistently. It would be like 1 or 2 a week, you know. So maybe it's just the plant getting into gear, maybe. Orange cherry bombs, more orange cherry bombs. These ones still putting on new flowers, so that's why I'm not worried about the previous one that I showed you guys. Putting on these beautiful pods. It's nice, sunny, orange. Just a beautiful pod right there, and crunchy. But they're hot, but they're sweet, fruity, refreshing, delicious. jppepperseeds.com. More orange peppers or orange cherry. Euphoria. It's got its flowers coming in, some buds, and the little baby peppers popping up now. So there's that. Euphoria peppers again, or California Reaper, whatever you want to call them. Blue Adirondack potatoes, about ready to come up. Pretty stoked on that. Long sweets. These are twister peppers I bought from the grocery store. Saved the seeds on them. These plants are loaded. Fantastic, man. Look at that. Those are bigger than my hand. It's starting to turn color, yellow. Then we got Charapitas. Now here I did some experimenting. All right, so we got one Charapita sitting by itself over here. And this got a lot of fruits on it. It's a nice, healthy, decent sized plant. Got like a 1 foot, you know, over a foot of canopy, over a foot tall. But then you got these two, and some people I hear say, companion plant your pepper seeds because, you know, they like to grow together. Well, here's 2 Cherepita plants right here, or chiltepins, and they aren't doing so good. This one's just barely got any fruits on it, as well as that one, and they're small. And then once again, we have this Cherepita, or chiltepin, which is growing by itself, and it's pretty decent size, and it's just now starting to get quite a lot of fruit on it, but not like this one. And then we got chocolate habanero. All the plants are loaded, doing really well. Banana pepper coming in. Now this one isn't so loaded. I picked probably four peppers off of it last month. Probably about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Now, here's something. Notice these plants are wrinkly. These are Trinidad perfumes. I don't think that matters because here's chocolate habanero with the same thing going on. It's all bubbly looking, you know, wrinkly. Leaves are curled. Doesn't look good, right? You might think my plant's diseased. Well, they haven't affected the other plants so much. Maybe this one a little bit. Maybe it is a disease. I'm not entirely sure, but it puts on the flowers. It's a big plant. I mean, that plant's almost 2 foot tall, and it is loaded with fruit, right? So I'm like, oh, whatever's wrong with it ain't that bad. It's just cosmetic, because all these fruits are really good looking. So whatever's wrong with it isn't really slowing the plant down at all. So Trinidad perfume. Jigsaw, look at these variegated leaves. Purple and white and green. Isn't that pretty? Puts on these little purple peppers here. And you see we got a crimson sweet watermelon coming in. I finally amended this soil. My homie in from Iraq, told me, reminded me anyways, that watermelon loves sandy soil and they like a lot of rain. They're heavy feeders and their roots like to have an easy way to get around. They don't like clay soils, hard, cakey soils. So I added a bunch of sand to this pit here, and watermelons, about 1.5 months, but it's got 4 melons on it. It's pretty exciting. This is a King Star Lemon Starburst crossed with a pink tiger. Deer came through here and munched the plant down just as it was putting on flowers. So it put the plant back into, I don't know what you call it, hibernation mode, green mode, veg mode, and instead of fruiting. So that's going to be delayed. Buena Mulata, I believe. I think these are Buena Mulatas. It's supposed to be a purple cayenne, but they're not long like a cayenne, but they are purple. And then we got Chiroroxa here, more Chiroroxa. This plant doesn't have nearly as many peppers as the one over there that was surrounded by weeds. So, you can neglect, weed pulling. All the peach branches that I pulled off of here, put here just to kill the weeds back. This right here is the Super Hots. Starting off with a 7-pot bubble gum. Some of these are just absolutely picturesque peppers. Look at that. Look at the rolls on that. That just looks good. It's unfortunate that my phone stinks, but there you go. There's that. And a lot of these, man, just look really good. Deer came through here once again, chomped that, but they left it alone once they got a hold of a pepper. More 7 pots. This one right here is probably the most beautiful pod in the entire garden right here. Where'd you go? Right there. That right there is a monster and a beauty all at the same time. Gorgeous pepper right there. Walking through here and accidentally clipped a branch, but yellow scorpions. Ooh-wee. Dragon's breath. There's one on the other side I want to show you, man, that is just scary looking, but these look like Carolina Reapers, but smaller, more compact. And then we got the Primatalis. These ones look like they've been boiling. Like they're just boiling hot peppers. Shoot, man, I gotta eat one, but look at this. This looks like a piece of chewed up bubble gum. Those are Primatalis. Scary, scary peppers. These are the kind you'd have to pay somebody to eat. All right, there we go. That's the garden update, August 2023. Thanks for watching.